What's up, guys? This is JusticeSoulTuna with another voice of JST. And after watching Maximilian's new videos and Miles 923, his new Real Talk video about rage quitting in fighting games, he mentioned something about like the distinction between scrubs and noobs and all that kind of thing. And it hit me that one of the major topics in regards to like fighting games, not just fighting it, but competitive play in general, that I've neglected to talk about for so long, is the idea of new people. And this is something that bugs me, because whereas indeed scrub mentality, as in like actually scrub mentality as Max defined it, someone who does the same stuff, lives in a bubble, where he thinks that he's perfect and his strategy is the best and won't change it even if people show them that it's not working and that kind of thing. Admittedly, that's the definition of scrub. That's somebody who won't learn how to get better at the game and will blame stuff like cheap tactics and all that kind of thing. That's fair enough, right? But I'm not here to talk about scrub necessarily. What I'm here to talk about is actually the inverse. Not the person who is the scrub, but rather the person who calls somebody a scrub. That's what bugs me a little bit, because most of the time, the term scrub is too generalized, and it's too aimed at people who... It can be aimed at anyone. It's a bit like saying this player is a fraud when it's like a top player or something, a player who places at tournaments. It's like... It's as if like absolutely anybody is a scrub. It's as if absolutely anybody is, can be termed as a fraud or a whatever, like a loser because of some arbitrary reason. But the point is, if we don't look at that, because that's a completely different argument, if we look at the people who just got into the game, people who are new at the game, I feel like this whole hostile mentality of looking down on people who are new is wrong. Like, I'm just going to say it's wrong. See, first of all, we need to make a distinction between those who are new at something and those who are, doing something for a purpose, because there's a huge difference. That's what bothers me. It's like in so many fighting games, people are easy to look down on someone who's new at the game, saying he's so shit, he's such a scrub, he's pressing all these buttons. It's like, what annoys me personally is like, and this is just common sense. Like, me, I talk common sense. This could be anybody on the internet, from anywhere in the world. And yet people are so quick to use the word scrub, and that's what pisses me off. It's like, but that could be anybody. It's not just, people forget that fighting games are video games as well, obviously. It's not just your typical 20-year-old black guy who buys a fighting game to level up and go to tournaments and win money. That's important, of course that's important, but the point is, not everyone's like that. That's why it annoys me when people are like, oh, this person's a scrub, this person's, such a loser, pressing all these buttons. It's like, you don't even know who that is. That could be anybody. That could be some random, like, 30-year-old woman who just bought it because she plays Street Fighter, like, in her spare time. That could be anybody. That could be, I don't know. That could be a little kid who's heard of Street Fighter, all the time and finally got to buy his first Street Fighter game. Or, I'm just using Street Fighter as an example, of course. Could be any fighting game. Let's just say Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter Cross Tekken, right? Or, what about the people who's like, oh, look at this Ryu Ken scrub pressing buttons like in Cross Tekken. It's like, why are you getting angry at this person, this random person on the internet, playing a video game? Like, have you forgotten that this could just be some random person who bought Street Fighter Cross Tekken because they saw Ryu on the cover and figured out you could play Ryu Ken in a team? It's like, there's this stupid, over-competitive mentality that everybody who buys a fighting game has to immediately go to the lab, open up SRK and Event Hubs, and start leveling up and learn frame traps and stuff. It's like, people forget that people play fighting games for different reasons. Obviously, it's important to do these things, but not everyone's on the same track. And I don't even mean just, people in general. I mean, like, even FGC people, even somebody who actually plays a fighting game competitively will not start the same way. Not everybody goes to the lab first. Not everybody plays arcade first. Not everybody plays the story or whatever first. People play different modes first. What I find annoying is it seems to be that, like, the majority opinion is that, everybody, absolutely everybody who plays a fighting game has to be good. If they're not good, then they're a scrub. And that's the second half of it. The second half of it is, even if we take intention into account, right? Intention to play the game, like what is their purpose of playing the game? Like, are they playing casually? Are they playing with friends? Are they playing randomly? Whatever reason they might have for playing the game online, correct? Intention aside, the second thing is, what is it with people, and not just fighting games, looking down on people who are quote-unquote noobs? That If we're to define a noob is somebody who's new to a game, new to a competitive game, or new to an online game. Why is a noob such a stigmatism? If you're new to a video game, you're new to it. You don't know what you're doing. You just bought the game, you put it in your freaking console, and you're pressing some buttons. You're pressing some buttons trying to figure stuff out. Everybody starts off new. That's what annoys me a little bit, because it's like, but everybody starts off new. Why are you getting angry at this person who's new at the game? You were new at the game once. You were terrible at the game once. You know, I wouldn't have looked down on you, so why are you looking down on him? Or her, for that matter. It's so silly. I just don't understand it. Why must we look down on people for their skill level? You know, if it's in competition, at the very least, look down on someone for their skill level for not being good enough and say, well, you need to get better, either in a condescending way, like, oh, you're so lame, or in like a friendly, competitive way, like, oh, you know, dog, you need to level up. Like, that's fair enough, but random people on the internet, or just random people you meet, you're like, oh, look at this scrub, look at this, look at this noob. It's like, jeez, man. It's that kind of overly competitive spirit that just like really turns off some people. I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's competitive FGC that causes problems for outsiders, but rather it's like, how would you feel if you're a casual gamer who wants to get into fighting games casually at first? You might get into it, competitively later. What if you wanted to get into, say, Tekken Tag Tournament 2? And, you went online and you picked your 2 favorite characters. I'm just throwing out names. Let's say you picked Kazuya Jin because you played them in every other Tekken game. And you played online, right? You pressed a few buttons, you're having fun, you don't really know what you're doing. Like, oh, I love Tag 2, I'm just going to press some buttons, whatever, right? Because, a lot of casual players, a lot of people who just play for fun, just press Tekken, press buttons for fun in Tekken, because it's Tekken, right? And then some guy on the internet sent you a message saying, scrub, loser, sell your game, you're so shit, blah, blah, blah. How is he going to feel? He's going to feel like, oh, what? Like, what did I do wrong? I'm sorry, I was just, trying to play the game for fun. I just pressed some buttons. Like, you see what I mean? It's like, it's that mentality that I feel that it's not right. I mean, when did it go? At what point did it reach on the internet in general, where, if you're new to something, that's a bad thing? It's almost like people have this mentality that because they're good at the game, it's like they started off good. It's like, if you're like 10th prestige in a Call of Duty game, for example, and you see somebody who's like under prestige, and by under prestige I mean like before first, let's say a level 20 or something, and you look down on them because of their terrible play, their lack of, obviously weapon unlocks and stuff, and call them a noob. Noob in a derogatory way, but it's like, of course they're a noob, they just bought the flipping game. They're level 20. Like, you can't expect them to be amazing. You can't expect them to do anything. It's like, why would you look down on them in the first place? That's the mentality that I hate. It's like, it's not right. It's not fair. It's not cool to new players. And it's not encouraging. For me, if you see a new player, it's not judge them first and then, say sorry later or not. It's like, think, okay, cool, this person's new. Who cares? This person's new to the game. I was new to the game. Eventually, they'll be probably 10th prestige like me, or they'll be, A rank like me, or they'll be like Tekken Master like me, whatever it might be. The point is that it starts off, with you entering whatever the game it might be it competitive RTS, competitive fighting game, competitive shooter, completely new, completely fresh. We all started off Street Fighter at some point. We all started off Tekken, Soul Calibur, DOA, Guilty Gear, BlazBlue. We started off these games at the beginning, and people have forgotten to respect that beginning. People have forgotten to respect the people who started where you started from. It's not our jobs as people who've been playing fighting games for ages to look down on people who are new, to treat them like they're scum somehow. The mentality, I can't even begin to say how completely absurd it is. That's the first thing. We can't look down on those who are new. We need to basically be good examples to people. Because there's enough assholes on the internet. People who are trying to get into competitive games don't need more. They really don't. The fact is, if we can show how nice the FGC is, it's like, you can go out of your way to help people out. Obviously, it isn't all negative. Of course, you can easily go on SRK and event hubs and so on, and forums, NeoGAF, and just find people to talk to who are nice, who will help you, who will let you, give you tips on how to get better at the game and how to understand stuff and that kind of thing. There's combo videos, there's tutorials, like beginner tips, all of these things. Of course, that's nice, but the bottom line is, like, how is a person supposed to feel when really the majority of things they're exposed to, and this isn't even by like FGC specific people, could be by anybody, that just the general mentality of like the entire world of the internet is that you're new, therefore I'll treat you like scum. you know what it feels like? It feels like you're the new kid on the playground that needs to get beat up. Why? Because you're new. Like it's a pecking order of some sort of crap, and then eventually the what's his name? The cycle repeats itself when you spend some time, you've taken your beatings, and then finally you're on top, and then you start beating on people beneath you, like some sort of vicious cycle. And that to me is just disgusting. It's like how is that cool? Like why is this fine? Why is it fine to do that? It always frustrates me whenever I hear people say, "Oh, what a noob, what a scrub, what a this, what a that." Like, trust me, I understand trash talk. Trash talk is fine, and trash talk makes sense. But it's like, the thing that annoys me the most is just when people see a low rank and they instantly go crazy, like, what a scrub, what a noob, all this stuff. It's like, but you were D rank once. You were crap once. And obviously you learned the game, but they probably will. It's like they make it sound that in that moment in time, because they're this, and that, that's how they're going to be forever. It's like, oh, this person's a Ryuken scrub. Oh, get better at the game. Pick non-overused characters and all that crap. It's like, are you serious? They just picked up the game. First of all, you don't even know if that, like, the reasons why they're picking the characters. I mean, that's another topic. I mean, I'll subtopic it for now, in the sense that people also seem to believe that, when you're a noob at something, there's certain things you pick. Like, there's noob characters like Ryuken in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, or there's noob guns like the PDW-57 or the MTAR in Black Ops 2, for example, that kind of thing. Or like, the easy way out kind of thing, what people seem to think, and that's another thing. I don't want to get too much into that, but like, what annoys me about that is it's the whole distinction between like people who like to have things easy in competitive games, people who like it harder, and how you're a scrub if you play easy characters. Because I don't want to talk about. I hate that topic. I hate that topic so much. And if people begin to talk to me about that, I'll be like, just no, be quiet. I don't want to talk to anybody who has subjective standards about what characters to pick or what tactics to use, because the way I see it is, it's not down to just like simple determination. It's not like determinism. It's not down to this person's new, therefore that's why they picked Ryuken. Did it ever occur to you they might like Ryuken? Is that so hard to believe? Did it ever occur to you that they like the PDW-57, that they like the way the gun plays, right? They like using it. What if down the line, what if their 10 prestige are still using PDW, and then you're gonna call them a scrub and a noob for using whatever? See, this is the problem with the internet mentality sometimes. Somebody could be like A rank or A plus rank in Cross Tekken. Not that rank means anything. The only thing it shows is dedication. Doesn't really show skill level. But the point is, let's just say someone got to like A plus rank or even master rank. I mean, I'd say you need a certain amount of skill to really reach master rank. Not all the time, because as we know, there are a lot of master ranks that aren't very good. But the point is, let's just say you met a master rank who played well, right? Who played well. Let's say you actually played them and they played amazing, and they were using Ryuken. What say you to that? They picked them because they were new. They're flipping master rank and good. Is that newbie to you? I don't understand. At a certain point, that whole newbie thing has to stop, because it's like, so where does the gap from noob to pro end? Like where does that happen? Does that happen at the point where they become a higher level, where they start playing better? Like, where does that happen? To some people, even if you're the best, if you play in a way they don't like, they're just going to call you that because it's trash talk. That's the silly and sad thing, honestly. So I think that the whole mentality is silly. The whole hating on new players thing is absurd. It's completely absurd, and it goes on, and it just makes me terrifically sad, like terribly sad, because it feels like too many people. If it was just a small amount of people, a subjective subculture of people who basically had these elitist views that, when you're new to a game, that's a bad thing. But it's not. It's the majority of people. You go to any competitive game and you'll have people looking down on you for something as simple as being new at the game. And that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, if people have this assumption that they were, the first time they put it in the game, they were like the best at it, and whenever they see someone new to it, they're like, oh no, go away, this is our game. It's like, that doesn't make sense. You know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of like girls in a clique group who look down on outsiders, and when another girl tries to join the group, they act all bitchy, like who do you think you are trying to get into this group, like you newbie or whatever. It's like, but you think in your head, and one thing always frustrates me about those situations is like, but you were all new when you joined the club, so what? You know, it's like it's so aggravating. It really is. I don't understand. Like, you have to actually think about it. Like, actually ask yourself this question and look at the amount of people that you've heard say this stuff like, you know, oh, what a noob, what a scrub. Think about it. Like, is it really valid to say this? Have you even considered for half of a second, not even a whole second, you don't need to take long to do this, have you considered for that short little time, you know, short little point in time, in between all of your rage and all of your, you know, elite bullshit, like, did you think for half of a second that, wait a minute, maybe they're just new at this game, that's why they're bad? Maybe they're just picking these characters because they like them, or these weapons because they like them. Maybe they're playing this game for different reasons to myself. Maybe the reasons why they picked up this game is to just have fun and not be an over-competitive dick. You know, have you ever thought about that for half a second? Because a lot of these people haven't. A lot of these people are so quick to judge and look down on people, you know, for whatever reason. And it's completely absurd. And the reason why I hate it, the reason why I hate hearing it and seeing people do it is because it's like, I hear them do it and it's like, are you serious? Are you listening to yourself right now? This noob and this scrub and all this stuff, like, you, not, like, I could remember when you first picked up this game, you were pressing buttons, you were terrible. And I didn't say nothing, of course I wouldn't. You're new at the game, we were all new at the game. It was fine. You get me? You know, I see someone online saying stuff like that, saying it to me, saying it to my friends, or even my friends saying it, and I just think, are you serious? Like, come on. These people are new at the video game. Of course they're going to be terrible. You don't know what reasons they're playing the game for. Unless you ask them or meet them in real life, you will never know. You will never know. For example, if somebody met me online, and I went crazy and used every single feature in Cross Tekken, from Super to Cross Assault and then Pandora at the end, they'd probably think I'm like the most over-competitive douche, but I'm not. I actually play Cross Tekken probably more for fun than a lot of people like that I know. I actually play Cross Tekken, not casually, but rather I'm competitive enough to like want to learn and get better and beat people, but I'm not so competitive that I'll let it like drive my life or anything. Of course I'd like to go to a tournament, that kind of thing, but rather I enjoy the game way more for the game itself than, you know, just for going online and beating people, if that makes any sense. Obviously, I make more videos and spend more time like messing around with the game mechanics than I do just like, you know, bodying people online or whatever. So I feel that, you know, someone could easily judge me, you know, me, JusticeSoulTuna, and say, oh, that guy is so competitive, like, oh, I hate playing with that guy. When it's like, you know, I mean, you don't know what reasons I had for playing the way I did, so you can't judge me. You can't do that. And I wouldn't judge you. I'm the sort of person who wouldn't judge somebody for anything. If I played somebody, I don't care what skill level they are, in any type of game, I'd just be like, okay, you're good, I need to be careful. You're bad, I'm gonna beat you. You're terrible, well, welcome to the game. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna treat you with the same respect I treat everybody, because that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be, oh, here's a good player, time to, you know, either play alright or, you know, dick around or whatever, and then cry when he doesn't respect me or whatever. Or here's a terrible player, time to be an asshole and troll them and disrespect them and patronize them and take it easy on them because they're new and, you know, think it's funny and all that. No, that to me is bigger than any kind of disrespect a player can show. A player can trash talk you in the face, insult your skill level, say all this bad stuff, right? But the one thing I feel like is the most disrespectful thing in fighting games, period, in my honest opinion, the most disrespectful thing in a fighting game, to me, is somebody who will purposefully go out of their way to take it easy on you or treat you like a complete bitch because they think that you're too shit to beat them. That to me is the highest level of disrespect. Obviously, if it's done out of fun, if it's done out of because like either you know the player or, you know, you're just trying to be funny, you know, obviously trolling's fine. But people who literally think like, oh, this person's shit, so I'm gonna troll them. It's like you just get this impression that everyone online are just dicks. It's like, how would you feel as a new player if you saw people playing online, that's all they did? You just think, why do I want to play this game? People are just gonna treat me, you know, like I'm a toy. It's like, that's not fun. Like, I wanted to come on this game to play with people for fun and learn new things, but I can't do that because every time I go online and play, you know, try to, you know, press some buttons, people are just basically gonna start like messing around and acting like assholes. And I don't think that's fair. I would never do that to somebody. Therefore, I don't think it's right for people to do it to me, or to anybody for that matter. It's like, it's not cool. It's not cool. You know, judging someone based on their skill level, making assumptions, the whole thing is wrong. I honestly think it's wrong. It just shows that you're looking down on people, treating them badly for completely absurd reasons, and you're making competitive gaming look like a bigger monster than it is already sometimes. Because competitive gaming has its pitfalls, it has its issues, but none of this is helped by people who purposefully go out of their way to basically treat people who are just new to the video game as degenerates. It's just wrong. It's like, dude, like, at the end of the day, we're all playing games, man. We're all playing games, we're all pressing buttons, but we're different people. Millions of people play fighting games, millions of people play video games. We all play them for different reasons. Why can't people understand that? Why can't people understand that if somebody's new at the game, they will just have different reasons for doing what they're doing that might be different to yours? It's like, is that so hard to believe? Just as is it so hard to believe that somebody in the world will like a different character to like a different character to you, or pick a different, you know, team to you, or do something different than the way you play? It's like, have people lost common sense? Do they live in their own worlds every time they're trying to, you know, play other people from around the world? It's like, nah, I'm sorry. Look, bottom line is, I've never appreciated, I will not appreciate, and, you know, there'll never come a time where I'll start appreciating people looking down on others simply for the very innocent and completely blameless act of being new at a video game. That's something to think about. Is it right, because it's not, is it right to look down on people just because the only crime they committed was putting that new video game into their console? Is that right to do? This is JusticeSoulTuna with another voice of JST. See y'all later.